Hello and welcome. I'm going to show you how to set up Archive after you've installed it. First thing you need to do is click on the Archive Settings icon on the desktop of the server you've installed Archive on. After the splash screen, if this is the first install, you'll be prompted to enter your license, and then you'll be prompted to enter a host and an organization. As you can see here, we've already got a host and an organization. We're going to add another organization to this setup for Archive. Archive can easily handle multiple organizations as each set of settings is kept separately. So I'm going to click on license information. That shows me the license I've got already. I need to update this to add the license for the organization that I've just created, which is called Aspire Demset. So the first thing to do is update that license. We should now here see we've got Aspire Demset with 4 full licenses, 1 import license, 2 read-only, 2 ESS update, and 1 ESS read-only. Okay, the next thing I would normally do would be to add the host. So if we edit the host here, I can show you each setting. Okay, this is the name or the IP address of the CRM web server. This is the port that CRM is running on. And check this box if CRM is using SSL. If CRM is using SSL, the port is likely to be 443, although that can change. With the organization, I'm going to add a new one now, and it's got to be match case for case the name of the organization, not the friendly name, the actual name. I can set this as a default if I want. This just means that when the settings program loads, it loads this organization's settings first. So we'll do that. It's not IFD. If it was an internet-facing deployment, we'd check this box and we'd put the address and the port of the ADFS server. So we're going to leave that as that. This will now create a new set of settings. Some of these settings you don't have to change, some of them you can. The application name is the name that will appear on lots of message boxes and user prompts. We can set a folder for the old log files, but we're not going to do that. Image file extensions can be ignored for now. The license entity name, type attribute, and user ID attribute are if we're using named licenses. For now, I'm going to set that up separately, and we're going to say we're not using named, we're using concurrent licenses. Concurrent licenses means that each user that logs on to Archive can grab a license. Named licenses determines the license type based on the user that's logged in, and we'll show that on a separate video. The product name again for log files. Basically the name of the log file will have the product name within it. Cache automatic reduction size. There is a download cache that Archive has. Once it reaches a certain size, which is set in the download cache size, it will automatically be reduced by a size. The oldest and unused files will be removed first. So if a document is regularly downloaded, it will always stay in the download cache. If a document is only downloaded once every while, once the download cache gets big enough, that document will probably be removed. This isn't the same as the library, it's just the download cache which speeds things up for downloading documents to your client browser. The log reporting level, -1 is development. That will spout lots of information into the log. 0 is what we recommend you keep the log reporting level at. The maximum log size in bytes, once the log file reaches this size, depending on whether delete when log is full is set, it will either create a new log and copy the old log file to another location or the same location, or it will delete it. At the moment it will delete it and just create a new log file. Allow Office plugin local saves. If a user is using the Office plugin, this determines whether or not when they save a document they can save it locally as well as directly into Archive. If you want to ensure those users using the plugin can only ever save documents to Archive, set this to true. The next setting, delete documents on CRM delete, does exactly what it says. If you delete a document entity within CRM, do you actually delete the related files or not? If this is set to true, you will, but you may have requirements, legal requirements that require you to keep your files as long as possible. delete when log is full we've touched on. Edited documents require notes. Set this to true if when you check out a document you check it in, you require a note for why you've checked it in. I'm going to set this to false here. Keyboard logs. Again, if you set this to true, all old error logs will be kept. Now this will take up some space, so set this to true only if you're absolutely sure that's what you need to do. New documents require a note. Again, if you require a note when you're adding a document, set this to true. Again, I'm going to set this to false. Office plugin installed. This determines the name of the download file name. If the Office plugin is installed anywhere, this has to be true. Otherwise, the download file name will not give Office enough information to determine what file it is. Use CRM admin for updates. This should never be set to true. This is a development option only. Now, the document library folder, download folder, and these subsequent folders all default to a location of the website. Now, where the website is installed. What we suggest is that you keep your download folder, your cache path, your upload folder within the website itself. The log folder, the vault folder, and the document library folder can go anywhere. Now, I've set some folders up already, so I'm going to just select these now. Now, my document library folder is where all my documents will be stored. The download folder is when a user requests a document, the document is transferred from the document library folder to the download folder. It's still encrypted at this time. It's only when it's streamed in memory to the browser that it's decrypted. The download folder we can happily keep the same. The logs will keep the same. The cache and the upload folder. The upload cache is where, when you add a new document, the file is initially placed. Again, this ideally needs to be underneath the web root, but it doesn't have to be. Finally, we have the vault folder. When documents are deactivated in Dynamics, the documents are automatically moved to the vault folder. This is just about saving space. So if you know you're going to have a very large document library and some documents are no longer in active use, we suggest you deactivate them or you manually archive them. If you manually archive them, they do go to the same place. In this example, they're all on the same server. In the real world, we would imagine that this will be put to a different location. Once you're happy with the settings, click on Save. Now, the next thing that needs to be done is that the system users need to be set up. The document library user is the user responsible for moving files from the download and upload cache on the web server to the document library and from the document library. The user must have full access to the folders defined in application settings of document library folder, download folder, root cache path, upload folder, and vault folder. This allows you to secure your document library to an NT user that doesn't actually have logon privileges to the rest of your domain. And this is what we would suggest you do in a production environment to totally secure your documents. The CRM administrator user is a user that must be a system administrator within CRM. This is for doing some of the administrative tasks such as creating document entities. So I'm going to set up the user here, and I'm going to use the same ones that we've used in the Aspire organization. So we're going to set them to the same user. It's just the administrator. Click Save. Archive is now set up and ready to go.